What this man discovered was beyond horrifying, and it should have never been found. Grotesque creatures lurking in the shadows, monstrous figures with unnatural movements, and bizarre hybrids that defy explanation.
You got a catfish? 3 eyes?
These terrifying encounters prove some things are better left undiscovered. In Florida, a man climbed into a storm drain to grab his keys. It was a simple plan, until it turned into a nightmare. Inside that narrow tunnel, he saw a massive creature half submerged in the dark, dirty water. Its shape was humanoid with pale blue skin that looked similar to a fish. It had long, soaked hair that clung to its face and fins stretched from its arms. The creature's tilted eyes were terrifying too, because they were completely white. Then, it hissed at him. He understood that it was a warning to make him back off, so he left his keys behind and left the drain to save his life. Pulsing mystery. A bizarre, fleshy mass with bubble-like formations covered its body, shifting slightly as if alive. The location is unknown. So much can't be said other than focusing on the visual. It looked slimy, almost pulsing, with long, thin tendrils stretching from its sides. Its unsettling colors, eerily similar to exposed flesh, made it even worse. Some believe it's a deep-sea creature that has mutated, but no one can say for sure due to the lack of information. Sewer serpent. Workers inspecting a sewer filmed something that made them sick to their stomach. The footage showed a dark, damp drainage pipe, but the real shock was the thing inside. A long, twisting form slithered through the shadows, its movement too fluid to be a simple object. Some believed it was a massive snake lurking beneath the city where no one would dare to look, and sewers have always been home to strange, unexplainable creatures. Mutated beings thriving in the dark, feeding on waste, and avoiding human eyes. Gutter mutation. In this mysterious clip, a resident of Norman, Oklahoma, USA, captured a mysterious aquatic creature in a gutter. When it was first seen coming out of the water, it looked like an eel, even though that's still absurd because eels aren't found in that area. Its face was unlike any eel on the planet. The head shape was that of a dolphin, same with its flippers, but the eyes, mouth, and face structure was like an eel. Its body was also really dark because of the dirty environment it was living in. This entire clip was mysterious, so do you have any idea what this was? Because I am all out of ideas. Wriggling mass. A plumber was just doing his usual job when he got a shock. A reddish-brown mass started falling out. He thought it was gunk from the dishes, but when he looked closer, he realized those weren't residue. They were giant worms! Half of the wriggling mass dropped to the floor, while the rest clung to the inside of the pipe. These were way bigger than any earthworms he'd ever seen. It was the kind of sight that would give anyone nightmares. So, next time you're dealing with your pipes, make sure to check. Who knows what might be waiting inside? Filthy creature. This strange creature was caught on the side of the road in Montana, USA. In the video, the creature can be seen moving in a very weird manner. It looked like a starfish, but its skin was dark, with yellow markings on its 7 limbs. The creepiest moment happened when it got up on its 2 limbs and lunged at the woman recording. It looked horrible up close, and then it crawled in the opposite direction before camouflaging itself with the dark, dirty water. This happened in Great Falls, near Sun River. Terrible house critters. This person might have the worst house on the planet. These tiny, gray, wriggling crawlers were inside the rods of the backyard shed and were moving in unison, which only made it more creepy. But then, inside the bedroom near the bathroom wall, there were dozens of black spider-like creatures coming down from the ceiling. He quickly moved out from the house he had just bought in Waverly Hills, Louisville, USA. Distorted anomaly. A disturbing clip surfaced online, sending chills down everyone who saw it. A strange, pale creature was sizzling in a skillet, its skin smooth, its limbs eerily human-like. But what really got people was its bulging blue eyes, wide open as if frozen in shock. It resembled a chicken in shape, but no chicken had eyes like that. So, was it an alien, a mutated amphibian, or something that wasn't meant to be cooked in the first place? Comment down below. Unexplainable catch. This doesn't belong in our oceans. A group of fishermen set sail for an ordinary day at sea, but what they reeled in was anything but normal. A thin, bony figure with a long, twisted tail and hollow eyes that seemed to stare into nothing. It had the shape of something human, just barely. The body was eventually placed in a museum, but even behind glass, it still doesn't feel like it belongs there either. Fish-humanoid. Due to the quality and framing of the video, it's difficult to tell where this scary creature was sighted. It was clearly wet and slimy with green skin like a frog, but the head was that of a creepy reptile. It only got worse the more people looked at it. It had webbed hands, black eyes with no white in them, and there was some sort of flap on its elbows that went all the way till its back. This was clearly a fish-humanoid monster, and the best guess I can make as for its location has to be in a pond or murky river. Cave dragon. A group of explorers were inside a forest in County Durham, England, when they found a mysterious cave. When they were about to step inside, this terrifying creature emerged from inside it, staring right at them. A serpentine body that seemed disgustingly slimy, and the most terrifying part was its head. The menacing creature had multiple tentacle appendages on its reptile-like head. It looked like a cave worm, a territorial, mythical creature that burrows through solid rock and lives in dark caves. Legend says those entering its lair never return, but lucky for them, they had not stepped inside it. Scary farm video. Captured by a trail camera in Austin, Texas, a farmer had to run to his farm at 11:43 p.m. to save one of his cattle from becoming a prey. A canine-like beast had one of the sheeps in its jaw, and it looked like the sheep was trying to save itself, but that wasn't the case. The creature was so powerful that it managed to lift an entire 300-pound sheep using its jaw and hind legs only. Just when it was about to take it away, the farmer's guard dog, a 5-year-old German shepherd named Igor, jumped at it. They were locked in, and this mysterious thin beast with a bony back managed to confuse the dog before jumping away in a flash. No 4-legged canine creature can just lift an entire animal, face off a mature dog, and then jump away like it weighed nothing. By the time the farmer got there, it had disappeared, but luckily for him, the sheep and the dog were both fine. Cave anomaly.
It's just, what is that? Oh, no.
I have something serious to mention, but for that, we have to look at this clip. Inside an unknown cave somewhere in Australia, a bunch of teenagers allegedly captured this absolutely bizarre mutated creature. It had the body of a jellyfish with purple and blue color, but unlike a jellyfish, this creature had 11. Now here is the part I wanted to talk about. Due to the lack of information, the unbelievable appearance of the creature, and the unnatural movements, I highly doubt this video is from an actual encounter, even though the creature is very unsettling.
Oh, it moved! Holy, okay, backing up.
Mutated eyes.
You guys see this? It's 3 eyes.
Brooklyn's Gowanus Canal is infamous for its pollution, but what a fisherman pulled from its toxic waters was beyond strange. On 8 November 2015, he caught a catfish, but it had 3 eyes.
It's 3 eyes.
The canal, once Brooklyn's industrial hub, is now one of the most contaminated waterways in the US, filled with waste and chemicals. Some believe the extreme pollution may have triggered bizarre mutations like this.
That is nuts.
Mermaid encounter.
You're beautiful.
In Reynisfjara Beach in Iceland, a man spotted a creature we didn't believe existed. With its feminine human-like torso and fish-like tail, it clearly looked like a mermaid. The spiky tail was emitting a bright blue glow that looked absolutely unreal. Its face was so beautiful that men could go to war for it, but that beauty was a deception. When he stepped closer, it pulled its lips back and hissed as it crawled toward him.
Jesus!
And in that chilling moment, he realized the mermaid was just as dangerous as it was breathtaking to look at. So, he didn't dare step closer and left it alone.
Jesus!
Crippling figures. The following footage was captured by a family staying at an Airbnb in Londrina, Brazil. In the unsettling clip, the family along with the landlord were emptying bags filled with these unnerving stick figures. All of them were long, slender, with multiple sharp limbs extending from their dark brown bodies. They were identified to be stick bugs, but the shocking part was where they were found. 2 of the 3 rooms they had booked had these creepy critters near the windows. Before they called animal control, they recorded the incident for safe measures. Farm-humanoid. Here's one of the most terrifying CCTV captures ever recorded. A farmer had set up a trail cam to monitor wildlife, but one night it recorded a mysterious humanoid figure crawling out of the stone well. Its limbs were slender and extremely long hair covered its entire face. Despite its human-like shape, it was clearly no human because the camera hadn't recorded it entering the well, which meant it had emerged from somewhere underneath. The guard dog instantly charged at it, barking wildly because it knew this thing was an abomination. The footage cut off right there, so we don't know if the dog scared it back into the depths of the well it had come from. Mythical creature. This enigmatic creature was caught by a fisherman in São Francisco, Brazil on 20th November, 2025. He was at his favorite spot, but to his shock, instead of a catfish, he saw this. Its body was gray, with a unique cyan line going down its spine. It had flippers like a seal. The head was like a reptile, but most unbelievably, it had strange appendages on its neck in the same color as its spine. Before swimming away, the camera also picked up its long serpentine tail. He went back there but only encountered it 2 times after this sighting. Skinwalker disguises itself. Skinwalkers are masters of shapeshifting into different creatures to lure their targets, but this dog saw right through the deception. A security camera from a farmhouse in Pinecrest, Florida, recorded the family dog barking at a creature that looked exactly like it. The doppelganger jumped into the property from over the gate, but the real dog refused to let it pass and forced it to leave. It was clear that this skinwalker was trying to make its way towards the house, and if it had succeeded in doing so, the outcome would have been horrifying because skinwalkers are known to be extremely dangerous. Winged creature. A trail camera in the Appalachian mountain caught a creature that is hard to believe even exists. It was drinking water, but the features are very shocking. Its mouth was shaped like a beak. Its eyes were glowing, and its ears were short but pointy. The head wasn't of a land animal for sure, but the body was. Long humanoid limbs with hands and feet that were too large to be a human's feet and hands. This clearly wasn't a costume, as the texture were too sharp and clear. I didn't notice it at first, and upon replaying for a closer look, I spotted 2 large fly-like wings on its back. The footage was cut short during editing, so we don't know what happened next. Weird creatures. These little confusing cryptids were caught inside a 300-old oak forest, filmed by a hiker near Oak Alley Plantation in Louisiana, USA, on 21st of October, 2025. These little alien creatures were rocking their heads back and forth in a peculiar defense maneuver that caught the camerawoman, Giselle Emily, off guard. Their heads were covered with old white hair, but their bodies were pale, hairless, and had 6 long legs. These mysterious creatures also had 2 slender antennas that were bent backwards over the body. Everything about them was strange and enigmatic. So, if any of you know what these were, let us know in the comments. Thank you. On to the next one now. Mysterious eerie catch. Fishermen in Russia's Rostov region were pulling up their nets when they were met with something beyond belief. A shark-like creature emerged, and it let out eerie, squeaky sounds. The catch weighed nearly 220 pounds. Its head and body structure were unlike anything they had seen before. Some experts suggested it was just a type of ray, but the Service for Anomalous Phenomena has yet to confirm anything. Mothman sighting. What you're about to see will mess with your mind. A trail camera in the Point Pleasant, West Virginia woods that was set up to monitor deer and coyotes ended up capturing an actual Mothman. Take a look. The creature was a massive furry beast, walking on two legs like a person. The camera caught only part of its face, and it was strangely flat, with small bear-like ears sticking out of its fur. It even had enormous bat-like wings on its back. Then, it flapped them and lifted straight into the sky. When scientists reviewed the footage, they were stunned because the sighting happened near the Mothman Museum in the city where the legend of the monster first began. Washed-up horror. On 16th of December 2011, beachgoers on Cannon Beach, Oregon, USA, recorded something out of a nightmare. A massive, decayed carcass had washed ashore, its exposed flesh and twisted remains making it nearly unrecognizable. The elongated body and what looked like fins or limbs hinted that it might have once been a dolphin, seal, or even a large fish. Marine animals often break down in bizarre ways, giving them monstrous appearances. No official identification has ever been made.
Steve, be careful.
Chicken crab? A quiet park near Salt Lake City, Utah, just became the center of something bizarre. A strange creature was caught on camera, and it was unlike anything seen before. It had the body of a chicken, but the legs of a crab. It scuttled across the ground, pecking at the dirt, moving in a way that made no sense. Where did it come from? Or what was it? No one has said anything. Honestly, nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised because of all the AI stuff. Nightmare in Arizona. This is what nightmares are made of. A man in Nogales, Arizona, spotted something crawling near his home, and it sent chills down his spine. Its body was too thin, its wings stretched too long, and its stinger curled in a way that seemed almost unnatural. He took a video and posted it online. Then, a biologist finally identified it. It was just a Mecoptera, a harmless insect. It may look like something out of a nightmare, but there's nothing to fear. Scaly worm. A strange video appeared online, and no one could figure out what they were looking at. A scaly, worm-like creature crawled slowly across the ground, its movements odd and unsettling. Some thought it was a caterpillar, others guessed a bristleworm, but none of those seemed right. Eventually, an expert identified it as a sea mouse, a type of marine worm. Still, many weren't convinced. It didn't quite match the usual appearance of a sea mouse, leaving people wondering if something even stranger had been caught on camera. Fish with legs?
What in the world is this thing? He's got legs.
Florida storms can bring all kinds of surprises, and this video was no exception. A man stumbled upon a fish with legs. Hoping for answers, he uploaded a video online. Many were quick to call it a frogfish, a species with fins that have limbs that are used for crawling, but something was off. It didn't quite match the usual look, almost as if the storm had altered it in some way.
And he stinks, and those are his guts.
Possessed spider. A spider completely taken over by the cordyceps fungus. It was at the final stage of the infection, where the fungus was controlling the spider's movements. It pushed the spider to climb as high as it could, so the fungus could grow and release its spores into the air. Scientists have studied this strange process for years, and cordyceps is known for taking over insects and spiders, slowly changing their behavior until the fungus spreads. It is one of the most unnerving natural processes out there. Crooked creature. A strange video online showed a hunched goblin-like creature near a cliff's edge. It seemed to be searching among the rocks, moving quietly yet unnervingly. Its features matched old folklore descriptions of goblins, small, crooked, and eerie. Elusive beast. Rare footage captured one of the most elusive creatures on the planet in Alborz, Iran. It was inside a cave and looked really menacing. Although people were shocked and kept asking if this was a new species, it was later identified by an expert as Eurasian eagle owls, one of the most powerful and secretive owls in the world. They are only found in discrete areas like rocky mountains and cliffs, from where they can remain hidden during the day and hunt at night. Areas like Iran and other mountainous regions are ideal for them. These owls usually nest on cliffs, in caves, and on rocky ledges to stay safe from predators. Hybrid reptilianoid. A local spotted a reptile lying still on the ground, looking unwell, but something nearby caught his eye, a metallic object. When he pulled it, a whole chain started emerging from the reptile's body. It kept coming out until it suddenly stuck to the creature's skin, as if some invisible force was pulling it back. Let me know in the comments if it was one of these things. Some kind of biomechanical hybrid, something altered for secret experiments. Unexpected find. At the beach, many collect seaweed floating in the water, taking it home as a simple treasure. One angler, however, stumbled upon something entirely unexpected. On January 13, 2021, in Bang Pakong River, Thailand, he spotted a strange creature drifting on the surface. Intrigued, he picked it up, believing it to be seaweed. But as he examined it closer, he discovered it had dozens of legs, writhing in a disconcerting dance. Later, it was identified as a bristle worm, a freshwater creature that appears more frequently in cooler seasons. Yet for him, it was a first, a haunting reminder that the water holds mysteries best left undiscovered. Wendigo sighting. In the Appalachian Mountains, ethologists had set up a capture camera to record the activity of black bears and elk, but instead, they recorded something unbelievable and truly nightmarish. A tall creature stepped into view. Its head was just like a reindeer. However, that's where the normal characteristics ended. Its limbs were far too long for any deer-like animal, and its arms hung so low they reached below its knees. It walked upright like a person with a really strange gait. As it walked out of the frame, the researchers weren't just confused, but terrified as well, because the creature looked like a Wendigo. Hotel abomination. Last year in August, a man had rented an old hotel in Marietta, Ohio for a cheap price, and instantly regretted it. The moment he stepped inside, he saw a foul creature crawling on the bed. It moved on two limbs, with a long, creepy tail trailing behind. The abomination had a grotesque face that seemed part human, part monster. Its slick, slimy body was covered in a vile liquid, filling the entire room with a rancid stench that made his stomach churn. He was so terrified that he left immediately to find a better hotel, far away from whatever else lurked in that cursed place. Mysterious river creature. On January 5, 2018, a man resting by Singapore's Geylang River Bridge noticed something strange moving in the water. He managed to capture a video before it vanished, and what it showed was baffling. A creature with a fin, a long tail, and a wide mouth with whiskers. It looked like a mix between a monitor lizard and a catfish, yet it didn't quite match either. Experts analyzed the footage, with some suggesting it could be an oddly shaped giant catfish. Others weren't so sure. Until another sighting confirms what it really was, this aquatic enigma remains unsolved. Moss tortoise. This year, on the 4th of December, a man was walking on a game trail in Black Forest in Baden-Württemberg, Germany. That's when he saw what looked like two moss-covered stones in the middle of the path. But unlike regular stones, these were alive. When the dog stepped closer, the stones reacted fast. Delicate purple flowers burst from their shells in the blink of an eye. When he showed this video to the locals in that state, they called these walking moss stones. According to their legends, these were a form of Waldgeister, which translated to forest spirits that only showed themselves once a year. Gargoyle carcass. Late at night, a man's dog suddenly woke him up because it had found something unbelievable. He followed the dog to the backyard, where he found this tiny but terrifying carcass on the ground. The creature's gray body looked disturbingly humanoid with an ape-like face, and its hands and feet were abnormally out of proportion. It even had huge wings. Its grotesque shape looked exactly like a small gargoyle, which he couldn't even believe existed. Since it was no longer alive, he left it there to decompose, but he still couldn't stop thinking how this creature had ended up on his property. Airplane imp.
What on earth is that sitting on the wing?
Last month, a man shared this video on TikTok where he claimed to have a soul-shaking encounter with an imp. In the video, the creature had mysteriously appeared on one of the plane's wings. With its furry body, horns, it was without a doubt an imp. Its long tail was glowing brightly from its tip, and even as the creature turned to look at the cameraman with its glowing eyes, it was a true mystery how the wind at that altitude did not make it fall. Even if the imp was actually real, its body would still not be able to withstand the wind force, which is why not many viewers believe this is an authentic encounter. What do you think?
It's looking right at me.
Sneaky gnomes. In San Jose de Gracia, Mexico, a man noticed his horse had been acting strange for days. It stayed timid and unresponsive, like something had scared it. So he set up a camera to catch whatever was troubling it. That's when it captured two creepy gnomes with horrid faces and pointed hats. One sat on its back while the other was braiding its tail. After seeing this real-time feed on his phone, the man rushed out to see it with his own eyes, and the moment the sneaky creatures realized they were caught, they ran away. Antarctic predator. Here's a creature so shocking, it'll make you think it came from another planet. A diver had been exploring Lake Victoria in East Africa when he found this worm. He was creeped out, yet strangely curious, so he took it home and placed it in his sink. The creature had a truly bizarre appearance, with its body covered in grotesque, golden-colored plates. Its round gray head was bone-chilling with snapping teeth. He searched it up online and learned it was an Antarctic scale worm, a terrifying marine hunter built for life in the pitch-black depths. However, he couldn't understand how a deep-sea predator ended up in that tropical lake. Strange abomination. Now this one is so disturbing, it might even haunt your dreams. A TikToker shared a clip that shows a hideous creature covered in dark, shaggy fur with twisted skin like folds hanging from its face. Its mouth is packed with jagged teeth, and its malformed hands make it look even more ghoulish. What's really shocking is that it calmly holds and eats a piece of bright green lettuce, while the man even offers food from his own hand. That's a strange contrast, since the creature looks like a predator that could devour a wolf in seconds. So, what do you think this was? Deep sea horror. Night fishing was supposed to be rewarding, but this catch made the angler regret ever casting his line. The creature he reeled in had an unnatural body, too many limbs, a disturbingly smooth, pinkish skin that glowed under the dim light. It almost looked like a sea pig, but something about it was wrong. This man had spent years fishing these waters, yet this thing didn't belong to anything he had ever seen before. How did it even end up here? And more importantly, was it alone? He wasn't planning on finding out. Transparent reptile. Some things are better left unseen. A viral video showed a gloved hand holding what looked like a transparent reptile. It was a chameleon, sort of. Instead of blending into its surroundings, its entire body was tinted red, while its bones gleamed through its see-through skin. Viewers were baffled until they realized what they were looking at. It was a diaphanized chameleon, a specimen chemically altered to expose its inner structure for scientific study. While harmless, the eerie sight of a colorless reptile with its skeleton on display was enough to make people uneasy. Terrifying creature. Coming back home after a vacation should be relaxing, but for this guy, it was anything but. There was a tall, sickly creature with pale skin and limbs that stretched too far. Its face, if you could even call it that, was distorted, as if two heads were fighting for space. A second mouth gaped near its neck, frozen in a twisted expression. Now it's time for today's open discussion of the day, and it's rather disgusting to be honest. Sewers are full of creepy crawlies, but this discovery sent a chill down investigators' spines. Authorities were called in after eerie sounds echoed through the underground tunnels. They found something on a pipe, but the real shock came when they pulled it free. It had an unsettling, almost cartoonish face, disturbingly real, yet unnatural. Its many legs twitched, its body shifting colors like it had evolved to survive in the darkness. Mutations happen in extreme conditions, but this thing looked too bizarre, like too bizarre to be even considered real. So yeah, I am calling this AI generated. If you agree, comment down below, and thanks for watching.